It ain't no game, but they saying welcome to the second level. Second level gaming. Second level.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the official Level 2 podcast, episode 17, I believe, is what we're on.
Still not Duske, huh?
Nope, not Duske.
Right.
That's when the sun goes down. That's see it,
Duske.
The Canadian sun. Oh, Canadian sun.
And Dawn.
Dawn. Is that like Donnie?
The Duske comes before the Dawn.
I was thinking Donnie. What's his name? Donnie. Not. Oh,
Dolly Parton?
Donnie and Marie.
Donnie
That's what I was thinking.
Brasco.
No, Donnie Marie. I can't think of his last name right now.
Donnie Osmond.
Yeah, that one. But anyways, my name's Keegan. I'm one half of Level 2 Gamers. I'm hanging out here today with the other half of Level 2 Gamers, as usual, because it'd be weird if you weren't here, because I'm in your house.
Well, that would be
Tom.
kind of bizarre, yeah.
How you doing today, Tom?
I'm all right. I've had a semi-productive morning, I suppose. Well, semi-productive week, really. So I feel all right about
I've
it.
been sleeping, playing video games.
You've been up late, as normal.
I've been yelling at you about topics, about how I feel about YouTube.
Yeah, we had an interesting discussion before we went live about Keegan's strong thoughts about the future of YouTube.
I'm going to say it now. You heard it here first. In 3 to 4 years, live events will pass video on demand on YouTube in watch time.
So...
Period.
What Keegan thinks is going to happen, and time will prove him right, is that at the point in time that we're at now, it's kind of a tipping point where there are so much more demand for live videos and live streams and live events on YouTube or anywhere else, really, Facebook, etc., that type of video is starting to phase out the other type of video, like the one you're watching right now.
I don't think it's phasing out. I just think it's going to be more prominent.
That's true.
Because so the example I use is right now the video on demand is number one just because it's been so long, sheer volume thing, but you have an exponential growth of live content getting more watch time, more minutes. You're not taking away from this audience. It just seems this is getting more attention from people that are watching because you watch longer when you're on a live stream. I mean, we're doing a 24-hour live stream in March. March 12th to March 13th, we're doing a 24-hour live stream. Like, you could watch a video for 24
anything can
hours.
happen live?
I think so. I mean, why do you watch reality TV? Why did people watch O.J. Simpson?
I don't.
Watch O.J. Simpson's chase in the Bronco. Because you don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And live events it's stressful as somebody who runs them. Like E3 to me was the most stressful thing we've done, but is also the most fun.
Got to do that again soon.
Yeah. Assume I can get it off. I got to make sure I get it off. I don't know what
That's
dates
what she said.
Yeah, no. That's my line. But we got
Valentine's Day.
But anyways, I firmly believe that live streaming, live events will take over video on demand in popularity within 3 to 4 years.
So, podcast episode 16.
Yes.
If you want to come, write that in your put it in your calendar for 4 years from
Valentine's Day.
Well,
technically, you guys will see this a week after.
18, 19, 20, 20. Valentine's Day 2021 in your calendar. Put Keegan said on the podcast live streams would be more popular than normal videos on YouTube. And is he correct? And when you discover time travel, come back and let us know.
That way we can change it
on this podcast, so that we won't have to wait that long.
Yeah,
or something like that.
Yes,
we could do live podcasts.
Yeah, we could. I thought about doing live events. So that's what I'm saying. Like, so one of the things that, as you know, I'm a huge Kinda Funny fan, and I try not to mimic them too much, but I think they're doing it right with what they do. And they do, they have their shows, their Gamecasts, the PS I Love You, XOXO. And then they have live events. So they just did Rooster Teeth Live in Australia. Greg Miller had the greatest intro ever. He came out to Enter Sandman in just American flag pants and just beer everywhere, pouring on. It was the funniest thing I've seen in a long time. This chubby dude just having a go at it.
It's a weird world that we live in.
Yeah. It was hysterical. But then they also released Kinda Funny Live too. So they're the same age as us. Granted, they're
the same age as we.
They're the same age as we. Same age as us. Granted,
sounds
they
like
had
the start of a West End.
They had an advantage because they worked for IGN.
Same age as we.
Yes.
Sorry.
Yes.
So I
love watching the live events.
I like listening to. You probably won't know it. Randy Rhoads. Do you know who Randy Rhoads is?
The guitar player?
No.
Oh.
Randy
Rhoads. I did answer your question.
That's correct.
That is Randy Rhoads.
You get half a point.
Yes.
So
half credit.
Randy Rhoads is she's a political commentator, and she used to be on sort of regular.
Wait,
TV.
Randy's a she?
Yeah, Randy is a girl.
Did not expect that.
Yeah. And so she used to be like a political commentator on shows like iHeartRadio and all that kind of stuff. And then she got fed up, or she left, or whatever, and then people were just demanding her voice back in the spectrum. So instead, she created her own podcast, The Randy Roadshow, and she just kind of talks about how shitty things are, and but it's live because people call in. So that's one thing that I would.
You want to do call-ins?
Like is have call-ins, yeah. So I mean,
tweet-ins. We could do a live tweet one. Like people tweeted us. That's what. So. Game Grumps, a lot of the gamers, that's what they do, is they'll do it on Twitter because it's the easiest way to filter it out because you use the hashtag blah, 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 because you don't exactly want to give somebody your phone number.
Well, I was thinking about it, but no, I didn't want to give everyone my phone number.
You could do a Google number.
Well,
that would work.
I mean, we could get like a level 2 phone, like a bat phone.
A bat phone?
Blue and, blue and white.
Could it please be a Batman phone?
Well, yeah. We'd hide it in a statue or something. I don't know. But, we could either have like a level 2 number, which, I mean, that would cost a lot of money to maintain, but or we could just do like live Twitter feed stuff or Discord. We could do Discord. That'd be quicker even.
Yeah, we've got that. We can actually integrate that. If we're smart enough, we could integrate that into our setup so you could hear them.
Well, one of the things about your kind of idea of live stuff, and actually this is something we have to talk about today as well, as our new stuff that will be relevant, because they're going this explain. I need to do this.
Okay.
And you have to trust me on this one, okay?
Is this like my story where I'm like, I can't tell you what it is, but
no.
It's
not like, and I'm not about to tell you some filth. I need to do this because I think this is the only time we get to do it that it makes sense. So
you're the one who knows the schedule way better than I do,
yes.
as we found out the last couple days.
So trust me on this one, because what's going to happen is the podcast after this one is going to go up on a different day to usual. Right? So far, those of you listening at home and watching and all that kind of stuff, so far you've noticed that these have gone up every Monday. Now, if you're listening on the audio, that usually goes up like Sunday night. Yeah. I do it sort of 5-6 o'clock.
Because you can't schedule it.
You can't schedule them, so they go up then, because I'm usually busy by 11:30 on Monday. Yeah. And then we schedule the vidcast to go up 11:30 on Monday, and that's been how it's been for since we started doing it.
Was that November, I believe?
Well, since
October,
we started doing
Halloween.
the proper ones.
Halloween.
Yeah, Halloween. Yeah, you got it. So we are changing things up a bit again, only a little bit.
Yeah,
not enough to make our channel trailer irrelevant, but only a little bit.
I feel like we've slowly been doing that.
Yeah, I mean it's
but it's for the better.
Yeah, it's us trying to keep on top of things.
I can tell you right now, the Let's Plays have been doing fantastic. The Tony Hawk Let's Play is doing a lot better than even I thought it would. I knew it was going to catch a little bit. But yeah, we've had
Confessions of Small Gamers here. We're letting you know that we ditched reviews, went to Let's Plays, and we are doing better as a channel for it.
Yeah.
So as we
weird,
say,
I prefer reviews when it comes to the content.
I do
quality.
too, but it is what it is.
Yes.
Apparently, I know nothing about the kids of today. We've learned that
Live
this morning.
But anyways, continue.
But the point is that we saw something that needed to be tweaked. We tweaked it, and it's doing better. And we always talk about this being as much like a metaphor for how to be a small tuber as
small tuber
as much as a gaming channel. But so that's a little bit of insight to you. That worked as far as getting us engagement. Yes. So much so
that we're going to.
We are currently actually over the number 800 for our subscribers.
We hit, as of recording, we're 805.
Yeah, and
we got like 6 in that one Rocket League live
we
stream.
hit it on the live stream. That's always fun.
Blue was like, by the way, you hit 800. We're like, we did?
Yeah, real casual. Like Blue just drops it in there. By the way, guys, you guys have finally passed 800. We've been trying to do that for like months. So that's a nice little kind of bonus for us. But part of that is because of the Let's Plays, and part of it is because you're streaming more, which sort of trends towards your opinion on the other thing. But
I'm not completely crazy, contrary to popular belief.
So one of the things we're trying to do is become more relevant in terms of time.
Because on the internet, if you notice, things go by pretty quickly.
Yeah, like things can go by in a half a day and they're done, and then you never hear about it again. Yeah. So we're trying to stay ahead of things, and as you also may know, being small tubers, we only have the ability to record currently once a week, because we also have lives and jobs and things that we have, I
don't have
responsibilities.
Life, I just have a job.
I have responsibilities.
Yeah, that's so. I mean, we've talked about it. That's the difference between me and you. Is like I can spend time getting in YouTube and analytics on this because I have the time to do so, and I like it. Versus you have a wife, a dog,
I
two
do.
dogs.
And it's not that I wouldn't like to stream more. I definitely would, but I'm gonna have to review some things in my life to get to that point.
Like, hey,
but
Jess.
Otherwise, you can hold that down.
Yes.
So either way,
but you'll still be there every Sunday. So
I will be. And Tuesdays now.
Yeah.
Because part of our new change, and let's just go through it real quick, because
Everybody hold on.
For those of you that give a shit, this is important. So
Mondays, because time is not relevant on Mondays.
all two of you.
Because so part of the reason make it more relevant, we record on Tuesdays. What would happen is we'd record the podcast on Tuesday. It would go up a week later. Whatever the topic we talked about was kind of relevant.
Yeah.
But then not like the Nintendo Switch. It was relevant. I mean, it had a big push, but at that point,
Sometimes it's nice to chew on things. Other times,
missed that initial
speed
wave.
is of a priority.
That's why, like, my initial Switch reaction, I think, did well because it was a gut reaction, that type of thing. But anyways, so Mondays, since we record on Tuesdays, so a week later from when we record, did you get all that? Will be Let's Plays because they're not as relevant when it comes to what we're talking about.
Let's Plays are not time bound, and
Yes.
in fact, most of the ones we're doing are retro Let's Plays anyway, so they're even less time bound because they're not even new games.
2003 was Tony Hawk Underground. So I was in
The Underground.
7th grade when that game came out.
The Bambino.
I was in 7th grade when that game. Jesus.
We played Nemo as well, so let's...
Yeah.
There's been
was 2003
lots
as
of
well.
older games, yeah. So, mostly the Let's Plays are going to be retro in nature. We might do some newer games, but honestly, they're more fun, I think, to pick a retro game and go through it, because there's a nostalgia level there. And there's people that, like me, some people don't have access to certain things, and they want to relive it. So I'll watch a movie like once every year, maybe. Like, I can't watch the same movie like 5 times in a row like some people can. I have to
can't even watch a movie twice.
Right, I have to wait quite a long time before I'm like, okay, maybe I should watch this again.
Yeah.
Like, I just started watching the Aliens movies again because I feel like I haven't seen them in like a year and a half. So, but that's sad. But we're going off topic here. So anyway, Let's Plays not age bound, therefore Mondays. Tuesday, we're in the same room together, like now.
Yeah.
When we're both here.
So Let's Plays used to be Tuesdays.
Yeah, and now Let's Plays are Mondays.
Mondays. Did you get that?
Tuesdays are going to be a double stream. By double stream, I don't mean any Russian hotels. What I mean is, me and Keegan will be in the same room at the same time, streaming, probably with a fancy camera or something, and we'll be streaming something completely random.
Yes.
And
whether it's like a game we find on PSN, or I might bring the Xbox over, we play some Xbox, because
it could be that could be a AAA. It could be an indie game. It could be
us doing handstands.
Yep.
Who knows?
Could just be. We could do the podcast. Who knows? So anyway, Tuesday is going to be a live stream because, as we've discovered this morning, live is the way of the future, and we happen to be in the same room.
As Tom discovered this morning,
it will be shorter.
They won't be 3 hours because we still have to record all the other stuff.
We do. We're putting it on top of our current mess that we have to deal with every Tuesday, which is why we're trying to get ahead of schedule. So we've been thinking about this for a while.
Yeah.
So live streams Tuesday. So
Wednesday.
What
is on Wednesday, Dom?
Doing the podcast because we just recorded it the day before. Therefore, it'll be like in a situation like this. We're sat down talking, and whatever we talked about just happened, and then it goes up tomorrow. So it does mean some fast editing by you and me to get stuff ready.
We are going to do, just a little heads up, we're doing kind of a test. We're going to try and keep the time the same. Podcast files, for those of you who probably don't know this, but podcast files are anywhere between, I've had from 12 to 20 gigabytes.
They're very large.
So YouTube doesn't necessarily do that the speediest when it comes to upload, because upload speeds are garbage, including Charter, because they are my internet provider. So we're going to try and keep them the same. But if they have to change time, we will let you guys know. But as of right now, 11:30 a.m., they should be live, assuming I get my job done.
So, and the audio ones, I could probably pretty confidently get those up either that evening or in the morning before I leave. Yeah. Those only take maybe 10 minutes to get up.
Your files are probably like 100th of what mine are.
They really are. They're like 100 to 200 megabytes each.
Jesus.
But it's still like a pain in the ass to put them together.
Yeah.
SoundCloud takes forever to do its thing. So Wednesday's podcast. Okay. So far, if you're following, Monday Let's Plays, Tuesdays live stream, double duo same room live stream. Wednesday podcast. Thursday will stay as VR.
Yes, but there's a switch.
But there's a little addition to it.
Switch.
So one of the things that we know you guys enjoy is this, us talking together. And we decided that we'd like to give you a little bit more of that by having themed conversations that are kind of mini versions of what you're listening to right now. So we're going to have 20 to 30 minute podcasts right before the gameplay. So whatever the VR game may be, we might talk about it. We might not. We might just talk about VR that week.
Or some news that happened.
Yeah, if something interesting happened in the world of VR, or if we just have some experience we want to talk about, or something new dropped in the store or whatever.
Yeah.
Anything VR related will go into that podcast.
Because part of the reason we want to do it is because there's so many things that are happening with VR that we don't get to because we do one video a week on VR and it's gameplay. And then the podcast, it's like, okay, do we talk about VR constantly or do we talk about something else, like hot topics, whatever it may be? Like, how do we just...
Yeah.
So this lets us narrow our focus in that. And we're able, like Tom said, it'll be anything from news to here's like some games that we've picked up that we've never actually done gameplay for our channel, but you should look into them. And
then we're going to top it off with gameplay of a VR game.
Yes.
And it may not be like the whatever released that week. It might be something completely different, but there's going to be some gameplay to follow. So if you're on the audio side of things, you'll get the little mini podcast talking about VR, and if you're on the video side of things, you'll get the podcast or vidcast plus gameplay.
And I'm gonna do initially I'm gonna try it with a time code in the description, so if you just want to see the gameplay, you click that and it'll jump to it. If that doesn't make you guys happy, if you guys want it to be 2 separate videos, I have no issue uploading 2 separate videos.
Just let us know.
Yeah, it's a little bit more work, but
it's for you. So whatever you guys want, we'll take a vote on it or something.
And then Fridays are not whatever Fridays anymore.
Fridays are not whatever Fridays. Fridays they are fun. Well, we have a different plan for that maybe. Yes. But Fridays are going to be a new section, same as the old section, but a little bit tweaked, and that's going to be cool.
We've changed the name. Well, like technically we changed the name 3 times.
I'm happy with this.
Jordan did the first name, and then we dropped part of it, and then we changed it completely.
So that being said, it's now called Bargain Basement. And
it used to be formerly known as Quick Bites and Bites.
Or Should I Buy?
Or Should I Buy?
Yeah,
we did 4 names. 4 times. Jesus.
So
we like name
Bargain
changing.
Basement because A, we're in a basement, and B, what we'd like to focus on for that are indie games or sales or basically anything under $60. So if it's not $60, we'll be looking at it. And that could be a game that's $50 or it could be a game that's $4.
The other thing, too, is it could be a game that maybe came out and wasn't worth the $60. Is like, okay, like I personally picked up the order for $5. Obviously, to me, that's a no-brainer. But there may be people that like when Watch Dogs goes down to $30. Is it worth $30?
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe like that kind of thing. So we want to jump on those because we know not everybody has $60 to spend on a video game. I know I don't.
Yeah.
So a lot of us
multiple $60 because like sometimes they release 2 or 3 games you want in the same week. So we're here to basically help your wallet.
And with the amount of sales that go on in these digital stores now, there's always something.
Yeah, like pretty much every week there's a sale.
Yes.
And hopefully we can look at more than PSN. I mean, we should take a look at Xbox and also maybe Steam and something like that as well. But it gives us a
winter
topic.
Sale is bananas.
Well, Steam sales in general are bananas, but so we're going to have again a 20-30 minute podcast before the gameplay, and that 20-30 minutes is going to be dedicated to talking about whatever the new hotness is in terms of maybe like indie gems and stuff,
the free
or the
PlayStation Network
sales stuff, or all of that together. And
anything that's kind of discounted.
Yeah. And then we're going to have gameplay. So that gameplay is usually going to be like for something like Limelight, which you'll see here shortly if you haven't already saw it last week, something like that. But either way, those types of things you're going to get out of that as well. So again, same principle. The audio guys get the audio, the video guys get both, and we should put either a time code or split the video depending on how you feel.
And I'm going to do a shameless plug. If you're watching us on camera, hi, I see you. You can see me too. Well, I can't see you, but you can see me. That is weird. What's a one-way screen, a one-day window? Find us
Did you think you could see through?
I can see through them. Find us on iTunes, Google Play, SoundCloud, all your podcast apps. I might actually make a custom URL now that I think about it for that. Just be like itunes.level2gamers.com. Don't quote me on that because I've not made it yet, but that might be a thing. I'll let you know.
In the meantime, search it.
Search Level 2 Gamers or Level 2 Podcast. Sorry, Level 2 Podcast on your podcasting
on your
thing. If you're listening to us, level2gamers.com.
Yep.
That's where you'll find YouTube.
The YouTube.
As of right now.
And on top of that, we do have some stuff planned for the weekend too. Yes. So Sunday is going to remain streams. We'll be together, but we'll be separate. So that's going to be me at home, him at home.
That's really, you'll see my face, but you'll hear him.
Yeah, exactly. But usually that's going to be with multiple other people. So we're going to have like David or Cody or some of our other friends that will be on the channel.
Borderlands, Rocket League. Yeah, what we've been doing for
playing co-op games, things like that.
There's literally 15 updates coming out soon. I'm like, oh my god.
And then the other thing is kind of a like maybe. So we still like the idea of doing one-offs. Doing like one-offs, and we thought Saturday's a day we're not doing things. So
Saturday's a good day for viewership.
Yeah, so it's not YouTube. Really It's
not set in
not a
stone.
guarantee that you're going to get something on Saturday, but if we do something weird, like go to a local venue or whatever, or, we're going to be meeting some dev studios in the area, that type of thing, that'll be Saturday. And then
Yes.
we'll throw it up as a bonus. It'll be a nice surprise for everybody.
Yes.
Us included.
So if you just follow us, subscribe to us on YouTube, level2gamers.com, hit the little subscribe button. And then, a little fun fact, if you don't want to get notified when we do put a video live or when we go live, there's a little bell on our page. If you go to our channel page, there's a little bell on the right-hand side, right by the subscribe button. Click that and say get notified. You'll get all the notifications for when we go
That would
live.
be sweet. I'd like to end up in some of your inboxes.
So, yeah, I get emails from lots of, well, as you probably know, because you get all the
I get
emails
the
as
same
well.
fucking emails, yes.
There's
I'm
one
less-
time on your watch, you're like, what
less
is
happy
happening?
about it, but it's I can't
don't watch 'em.
unsubscribe because they're for him.
Yes.
So basically, all of that is to say this: the podcast next week will be on Wednesday and not Monday.
gotta remember to
Because
upload it on Wednesday,
this
not
is our
Monday.
changeover period, so we're gonna be starting next Monday with our Let's Play, our other bits and pieces, our stream and stuff. So then the week after we'll be back to
Yes, and we're also gonna have a guest with us.
freshness.
Hopefully, that's our goal. Assuming he doesn't get sick.
yeah.
We have a plan to bring somebody on as a guest for that first week. So I'm
Yeah.
excited.
Yeah, so that's going to be a good time, and he's going to be in our first, I guess, delayed or Wednesday podcast.
It's not delayed. It's just different.
Well, it will be delayed technically that one week, and then it will be like fresh and normal the week after that. I just, for those of you that do, like, I don't want you to be like waking up on Monday morning like, oh, I'm going to listen to Keegan and Tom on the way to work, and then just be
Why
like,
the hell would you do that? First of all,
where are they?
I find it insane. I
can't
mean, I
live
listen
with
to us, I
myself.
guess.
Yeah.
Which
So-
is weird. My dad listens to us. Hi, Dad.
That's
He has long flights to Japan a
an
lot.
extra amount of pressure on my behalf. So that's that basically. That's our new thingy. We hopefully will have some other newness coming with it, which we're excited about. We'll share that with you sooner. And yeah.
So let's do
just
real,
so you
real
know.
quick, because we didn't do it. But real quick, what have you been doing?
Not much, to
Cool.
be honest.
That was
I've
easy.
been on a weird Aliens kick. I don't know why.
Like creature aliens or like
the movie Aliens.
Okay,
Yeah.
like the movie
So
Aliens.
I've been watching a few of those,
not
mostly when
just, like,
Jess falls
alien
asleep.
games?
Yeah, she don't like them too much. So I mean, she doesn't dislike them, but she just can't seem to stay awake during one, which I understand. If you're tired, the Aliens movies are the worst to watch because
They're
they're
documentaries. They make me pass.
they're just
out.
like all you're in space and there's lots of like creepy noises and stuff. So much so though that I actually started another fresh, and I have 2 new games to play. I still haven't played Tomb Raider or Mafia 3, but I really wanted to go through
Tomb
Alien
Raider VR.
Isolation
We need to do
this
that at some
morning.
point.
Yeah, we do. So I really wanted to go through Alien Isolation this morning, so I started playing that for a couple hours, and I would give my left nutsack for a VR version of Alien Isolation.
You have 2 nut sacks because you probably have
I
enough
have a
nut.
pair of nutsacks.
No, you probably have a nut in one sack.
You don't know my anatomy,
Jess.
but I think it's probably the most anticipated to be transferred because we know Dirt Rally just did a transfer. They by the time you watch this, they will have done.
I was gonna have they. I don't know.
It's on Friday for us now.
they're giving a date?
In real time. It's Friday for these guys.
the
It's
weekend
last
before.
Friday. Yeah.
This is look when we do the new podcast, we don't have to fucking do
Yeah,
that.
we can be like
it
tomorrow.
was yesterday.
Yeah, but yeah, so it's kind of awesome that they're doing that to some of the older games, adding the VR, and I think it's like $10 as well to add VR to Dirt Rally. So if you picked it up on
you gotta
any
pay
of the
for
mini
it?
sales recently,
You gonna pay for it? Or is it free
you do
update?
have to pay for it. Yeah, but it's
That's
like $10. I mean, not really. If they pull it off, it's I would pay
I
$10
know,
for
it's
an
still
upgrade to
stupid.
any game for
That's
VR.
still stupid.
Yeah, you have no.
Battlefront was free.
That was a fucking side mission. This is the entire game.
I don't care.
This basically
I don't
turns
care.
Dirt Rally into a AAA VR game.
I know. I watched IGN play it on, I think it was Oculus, and they like wanted to throw up afterwards because they kept flipping the car.
Yeah, I feel like that's gonna be really bad. I'm actually not looking forward to that part.
We need a steering wheel.
Yeah, we do.
How immersive would that be with the steering wheel?
That is a goal of mine, but the steering wheel is almost as much as the damn VR headset. So
the steering wheel is you can get a cheap one, but the one you want force feedback. I know my steering. I used to have a racing rig. Good steering wheel is $300 to $400.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So it's a lot of monies. But I would kill for Alien Isolation in VR after finishing Resident Evil 7 anyway.
Did you finish the DLC?
For Resident Evil? No, I haven't touched it yet.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Didn't know.
I'm excited to try it because it's not really that full, and they have like a bigger story-based DLC coming sometime soon for free. But the banned footage one is, as far as I understand, it's like 3 different sections. There's like a escape the room type area,
and two of which are VR, and one's not.
Yeah, something like that.
One of them's not VR.
Yeah, there's like Ethan Must Die or something.
Little fun fact: I read the press release notes from who's it? Capcom? No. Yeah, Capcom
is the developer.
From Capcom, because I'm in their press.
Yeah.
Thing. You are too. You just probably don't know where to go. I'm in charge of all that shit.
No idea. But yeah, so that was a wonderful game. I did finish that. That was an experience and a half. It's pretty much everything I wanted it to be. I will say the story ran flat, but I'm so used to that with Resident Evil.
Yeah.
Like by the
everybody's
end,
saying this is one of the best Resident Evils since the original trilogy.
I would agree. I would say that if I played it the whole game through flat, or if I played it in sort of tank control mode, like the other ones, I'd be pissed off with it because it is scary in places, but the VR literally 150% better playing that game in VR, hands down. So I would recommend, if you're going to do it and you happen to have a VR headset, do it that way.
If you don't, find a friend.
In the meantime, please, for the love of God, release Alien Isolation in VR, please.
Please.
You?
Alien Isolation 2. I've been watching. It was funny because I think last week or 2 weeks ago we were talking about like these reality Deadliest Catch style shows. I got back into Gold Rush, which is,
still don't know what that is.
It's one of those type of shows where they're doing gold mining in Alaska. But I stopped after season 3, and then I went to Hulu, and I don't know why I skipped season 4, but I went straight to season 5 because I'd been out of the series long enough. I don't care. But I jumped back into that, and that thing has gripped me like nobody's business. And it's so stupid because the same shit over and over again. Will they get the gold? Shit breaks down. They got the gold, but not enough gold. Like, it's like, come on.
There's only so many shows you can do based on gold hunters, I would think. Either
Gold Rush was the original. Gotcha. It was like the one that spawned then the Bering Sea Gold or whatever the hell it's called. I don't watch that one. Yeah. But it's quite interesting because what I really like, and one of the reasons I got drawn in, is there's a guy, his name's Parker Schnabel. He's a
Parker Schnabel?
Yeah, his last name's Schnabel.
Lovely.
He's a 3rd generation gold miner, and he started on the show in season 1 at the age of 15 or 16.
Okay.
So now he's 20. And it's quite interesting to see his growth. He went from getting 33 ounces of gold, which is $40,000-ish, to his goal this year is 2,000 ounces, which is $2.4 million. And he's expanded his operation, left his family, went up to the Klondike, and like he's got his shit together. He's 20, running a multi-million-dollar company.
Wow,
which is incredible. With his
parents.
All he does
is dig for gold.
I mean, it's a lot more complicated than that, but yes.
Okay. Have you ever dug for any
do you know what a
precious
sluice
gems?
box is? A sluice box?
I don't.
It's where you run water and it catches stuff. It's actually quite the engineering. The engineering aspect of the gold mining is what I find probably because I thought for a long time I was going to be an engineer, and I'm not an engineer clearly, but I just
love an engineer at heart.
I try. I just love. I've always been fascinated with like how things work and like structural loads, all that kind of stuff. And it, to me, I love like literally how it works series is one of my favorite series because it's dumb, but then you go learn more if you want to from the topic that interests you. But no, I've never dug for gold.
I dug for diamonds.
I've never done that.
I think I may have talked about this before. I don't know if I ever did.
Was it a blood diamond?
No, it wasn't.
Cool.
It was an American diamond. It was in Murfreesboro, Arkansas.
Arkansas?
Yeah, which I, by the way, thought was the real way to say that for a long time.
Arkansas,
Murfreesboro has one of the largest diamond dig sites in America, and there's like been some gigantic diamonds that have been found there. But when I went there, I went with like my whole family, American family, and it was interesting because there are people that it's their job. They just they turn up with like great big little digger thingies and like like mechanical machines and. It's really bizarre that's what they get out of bed for every day. Like they're digging in the dirt for rocks, and it's kind of cool though. It's kind of I mean, it's definitely I can think of more boring ways to live life. So all power to them. But it's a fun thing.
Gold Rush, like again, it's a whole get rich quick type thing. Even though you don't get rich quick a lot of the time, but it's just really interesting seeing the different because they have on that show they have a team of like 3 people. They have a Parker's team, which I think is like 15-20 people, and then they have I can't remember what his name is. He's the Viking on the show. I'm blanking on his name. But he is basically him and his children. And then 2 mechanics. So, like, very small teams, but they can bring in millions of dollars worth of gold. And you're like, what the hell? Because technology. So that's what I've been watching. As of today, this morning, when we're recording this on Valentine's Day, For Honor came out last night, and I played the story co-op with David. The live stream went up. It is actually did fairly well, considering we got off to a rocky start because PSN was broken.
Yeah.
So I played some Psychonauts. That went really well, too. I was like, cool. I was kind of disappointed, so a little behind-the-scenes stuff. Again, not that it really matters, but, like, when I went to go start the For Honor stream, we had 23 people show up, and because they expected to watch For Honor. When it didn't work and it dropped down to single digits, I was like, this sucks. But at the same time, it's like, you know what? Fuck it. Let's play the game.
Nothing enjoy the game. Do about it at that point. You know.
Psychonauts, again, I've had a few messages from people like, can you make this a thing? I was like, I can try. Because apparently it's a lot of fun. I also think
a lot
really
of people
loopy.
are looking at that right now, though, as well, because of the Rhombus of Ruin that's coming out. And so there's a lot of people.
That's how I got it, because I bought that and I bought... So
it's a freebie if you get the pre-order.
Yeah,
right?
so I had never played Psychonauts, but it reminds me a lot of Crash Bandicoot, which makes me happy.
Cool.
So, For Honor, I've been playing a lot. We did the stream last night. We're actually going to play
everything you dreamed of as far as the full game.
I don't know yet. I haven't played into it. They have 3 new heroes. I've already got one called Valkyrie. I have not played with her yet, but I've not touched the multiplayer. We did just the story last night, and without spoiling too much, the story is broken down in 3 parts. It's knights, Vikings, samurais, each chapter. The chapters are a lot longer than I thought, which is cool, because I expected... I was anticipating a story just to be tacked on to make you have a reason for the multiplayer.
Almost like a tutorial.
Yeah, which is kind of true and kind of how it started. So I was like, I don't know how I feel about this. But, dude, at one point, shit gets real, and you're like, whoa, okay, we just took a turn. And it went from, like... Granted, we also upped the difficulty at that time, so I might have done it too. But we went from, like, breezing through everything to, like, oh, shit, we gotta... Again, I don't want to spoil anything, but there's one moment where me and David had to work together extremely well. And you can play it by yourself. I assume they'll just scale back the number of enemies that attack you. But me and David had to work together to make this thing happen. I don't want to give away too specific because it's a big part of the story. But it's really cool how, with that game... When you're playing with a friend, you can go in 2 different directions and come back together at this point. So one of the things we had to do was we had to go murder some people, which is what For Honor is. I assume that's
most of what the game is.
Yeah. So the way it worked was the first level was it's a tutorial, so it takes you through a narrow corridor, but then the game opens up and it's like there's a path to your left and a path to your right. You can go either way and get to the path at the top of the mountain. So me and David usually hung out together because that way numbers are way nicer to have than when you're by yourself. But there was a couple moments where he went this way, I went this way, because they have collectibles in there that you can get to get scavenge boxes and experience and steel, and all, which is the currency in the game. And it was really cool. I actually was exploring the world. It was kind of linear, but at the same time not. Like, it was... There's definitely a path you were going to, but you could explore within that path pretty widely.
And there's like a mini sandbox.
Yeah. And the coolest part to me, I think... from my experience was like how I think, I don't know if it was, but it was really cool, like, and caught me off guard, was one time you were fighting on the ice and the ice is cracking underneath you. David actually fell in, like he stood too long in one spot and he fell into the ice and died. And I was like, whoa, like, it's dynamic. You can see, because when I stood next to him, it cracked quicker. And I was like, I'm going to go stand over here.
So the environments are kind of a part of the...
The environment is a big part of that game.
Interesting.
Fire is a big element. There's one mission where you have to basically burn a village to kill some people. Yeah, it's a very brutal game, but I love it.
I watched the trailer this morning on PSN.
You should watch our live stream.
I will, because I want to see what the gameplay looks like, because they don't show it in the trailer. They have really cool trailers.
It's a cinematic.
They are very cool, but I need to watch the gameplay. So I will actually watch your playthrough of it to see
the beginning of the stream. By the way, if you're watching that stream, the second episode will be brighter than the first. I turned the contrast down because my TV can handle it. Turns out the capture card can't, so it's a little dark. So I will turn the contrast back, or the brightness back up on tonight, which will be last Tuesday for you guys. But episode 2, the Viking one, will be a little bit brighter than the Knights.
Cool.
And what I plan to do is do a chapter per faction.
Stream.
So, that's what I've been doing.
Cool.
We've both been doing recently with the bonus question. It's going to tie into something we have going on here in St. Louis.
Chitty chat.
We met. Those of you who don't know, we are from St. Louis. That's what somebody asked me last night what STL stands for in our name. It stands for St. Louis.
That's a place.
We met a developer from St. Louis called Happy Badger Studio. And I met them first at Wizard World last year, and then they just happened to be at Indie PopCon as well, and ran into them, met a few more of them. I met Carol, who no longer is with them. She's now at Butterscotch Games, which they do some really cool stuff, so go check them out. They're another local developer. And then I met Dana, and I can't remember the guy's name. I want to say Rob, but I think that might be wrong. Sorry if I forgot your name. But met them, played the demo of the game, and basically what they're making is called Smugglecraft, which if you remember the Pod Racer, Episode 1 Pod Racer, picture that on PlayStation 4, but it is 4-player split screen, 16-player online, customizable pods. Like, it's so cool looking, and the fact that it's like a team of like 7 people doing it is crazy. They've been working on this for a while. I don't know if I won't say this, but they were supposed to release it last year, but they didn't because indie developer problems.
I would rather people took their time with the game and made it.
No, so they said the hardest part for them right now, and because I played. Like I said, there were 2 different builds, slightly different builds from Wizard World, because it was like 3 months difference to IPC, and their biggest issue was collision, because at Wizard World, if you went off the map, you went off the map. Like, you were falling, never coming back. So they were trying to fix that, and then like since it's a racing game, you also have to go up mountains, and some of the mountains would slow you down so much that you couldn't make it over the top, and it's all procedurally generated too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, all courses are procedurally generated, so they've been trying to figure out the math behind
So you never played the same course
Correct.
twice?
So I don't know. There's a story involved. It involves like smugglers and parts and all. It's like Star Wars
I would
style.
assume,
but
yeah.
I don't know what the actual story is. But I had hands-on with them. The reason I'm bringing this up, 2 reasons. One, their Kickstarter actually starts today, I believe. I will hopefully...
Recording today? Okay.
Recording today. So it's been going on since Valentine's Day, and it goes through, my phone tells me, my phone's over there somewhere, I believe. But I want to say it's through March 17th, I believe. I will double-check that. And their Kickstarter starts. They're trying to raise money to finally get it out the door. They're hoping, knock on wood, to release it in May.
Cool.
But they... Obviously, indie developer, anything can happen. But go support them. There's some cool people.
Happy Badger Studios, and the game is Smugglecraft.
Smugglecraft. And follow them on Twitter. They're really active on Twitter. They're really awesome people. I mean,
there's an interview you did with them at Indie Pop, right?
At Indie
They
PopCon.
can view that if you want to.
Yes.
That has a little bit of gameplay in it.
Yes.
So if you're interested, go to our back catalog. There should be a playlist for Indie PopCon. If you go in there, there's an interview with the guys at Happy Badger, and also some gameplay in there.
Yeah,
too.
and we're hoping to get an interview with them soon. We've reached out to them and said, hey, your game's coming out, Kickstarter's going on. We just need to find time. Like they said, we're down. We just need to find time to do it, which, as we talked about earlier, time is a hard thing to come by for us.
Time is of the essence.
But go check them out. Their Kickstarter's going on, and that leads into our bonus level question. Is that game is couch co-op 4-player? Not very many games do that anymore. The only other one I can think of that recently came out that is truly couch co-op is Overcooked.
Yes.
That's other than Nintendo. Nintendo still does it, but Nintendo does their own thing.
Nintendo has their Bomberman coming out, which will
Yes.
hopefully be couch co-op.
Yeah.
I would think so. But there has been a definite decline
Yes.
in the nature of couch co-op.
Co-op. So the official question for the bonus level is couch co-op dead?
No.
Cool. Thanks for watching, guys.
No, I don't think it is. I think it's having a small renaissance, but I think that mostly I get why it fell to the wayside, because definitely online gaming is more prevalent and
it was new,
right? And people,
at least for consoles,
people
it's been around
like
for
to
PC
play
for
with people from all over the world. They don't necessarily want to have to rely on their friends down the street. But I think
and when you play online, you have a bigger pool to pull from.
There's enough of a demand, I think, for it to still exist. I think it's going to depend entirely on the success of the games that come out that have it. So the games like Smugglecraft and like Overcooked, everyone that has watched Overcooked or seen a stream of Overcooked loves it. And I think the joy of being able to play a game like that, where you can literally like be in the same room, like pushing someone over, like having a kind of
yelling at each other,
Mario Kart experience with it, is, there's something to that adds an additional layer of joy to the gaming experience. And I think that because of that, we shall see more. Now, it can't be that hard to develop for it. I can't imagine it's that difficult.
I'm not a developer, so I don't know.
I don't know for sure, but you're basically just splitting up the stuff that's already there.
Which, it's funny because if you think about it, back in the day when we had 4-player co-op, the screens were 15 inches.
Right.
And you had a 4-inch screen you'd play on. Now we got 40,
these giant ass TVs, and they don't make the games anymore.
Yeah.
You could have like the entire size of the old TV in your corner of the screen.
Yes.
To play a couch co-op game. But
I think so. My opinion on it is I think it was going away, kind of like you said. It kind of fell off to the side because online gaming took off, and I think that especially I think Microsoft. I'm going to give credit where credit's due. Microsoft's the one I think who pushed online gaming to what it is today. PSN has caught up. Granted, they were down last night, made me real mad, but that's okay. But they've caught up when it comes to online performance, that kind of stuff. But I think Microsoft was the one in the console space that said, hey, we're going to run with this, because they had the background for it. They are Microsoft.
I'll give them the kudos for that.
They do online well. So they Xbox Live, I think if Xbox Live didn't do as well as it would, we would not have the ecosystem we have now. And I think that's kind of why it fell to the wayside, is like, okay, everything's going to be online, play with more people, play with your friends online, talk to your friends online. Like, the other thing, too, is it's getting to the point where hanging out with people is hard versus, like, online, you don't have to go anywhere. Like, me and David last night, we got online at 11 p.m. He wouldn't come over to my house at 11 p.m.
That's true.
So, I wish...
He probably would, though.
Yeah, he probably will when we do the 24-hour
If you asked him nicely.
Yeah. But one of the things I think games need to do, and we talked about this, me and David talked about this the other day, but I think there's two things games, when they do couch co-op, need to do. They still need to have an online mode. One of my biggest complaints with Overcooked is the fact that I cannot play it online. It's cool to play couch co-op, but I want to have the option to play online.
Have both options.
Yes, just because it's gotten to the point where that is now a standard. Like, I come to expect that that's a thing. And the other complaint I have with couch co-op is you can't bring a friend online with you. Like, do you remember back in Halo we could have guests? Or
I remember in Call of Duty,
yeah. You can't do that anymore, and that kind of sucks because, as you know, I'm a social gamer, and take social how you want. Take it as I play with friends in a room, play with friends online. I prefer being in a room. I prefer the Mario Kart, the Mario Party style games versus the Call of Duty style games, because I'm hanging out with my friends. Yes, I'm hanging out with them online, but it's not the same thing. When I had people over for VR, that to me reminded me of couch co-op so much, and I loved it. Just seeing people's reaction playing games and just jabbing each other and all that kind of stuff. So
there's a certain I guess nostalgia, but like it's almost like a sibling nostalgia. Like you remember like when you used to grow up playing with your brothers or sisters or whatever, and you would kind of like give each other crap and kind of
me and Kelsey were very she so do you remember the original Mario Party where you had to do the spin thing and you'd blister your hand?
I do.
She would destroy me in those, and I hated it, but I was always better with button mashers. She'd get the spinners, I get the button mashers.
Right, and that's a good memory for you. That's something that you can like look back to and be like, yeah, that was an awesome time.
And I think it's funny because I feel like it's, like you said, nostalgia aspect is the people that grew up with that, because older gamers didn't have it because it wasn't a thing. If you think of like the Atari, you didn't really have... I would guess Mario. I guess it started in the early
You've
80s.
had multiplayer since Pong, dude.
Yeah.
You're
never mind.
Older gamers have been
take that back.
Enjoying it. Yeah.
Take that back.
I think you're dissing my generation too hard there.
You're just an old fart. I wasn't around.
But
Pong, Magnavox, Odyssey.
I don't fucking.
Didn't you put a
Commodore 64?
Put a thing on the screen, and you're like, it's a different game, but it's the same fucking bar going across.
No, I distinctly recall multiplayer being like a big thing as a kid. Like even playing games like World Evolution and Castle Evolution on the Genesis with my buddies. Those sort of things are some of the best gaming memories you're going to have.
Yes.
And
GoldenEye.
But
let's be honest, GoldenEye was
GoldenEye,
was
Mario
the big
Kart,
one.
obviously. But it's kind of that thing where I can remember online moments that make me smile. Like we had some good ones playing Rocket League the other day, and there's a certain joy to that, especially because you can have more people usually, and you get your own screen. You get your own, you don't
have screen lookers,
right? So no looky loos. But then you lose the human part of it. So it's kind of, I don't know. It's nice to have both. I think having couch co-op that you can take online is amazing. I remember playing Call of Duty online with friends that were in the same room as me, and we would see each other on the map, and then like we'd both like start hating on one player that was online, and both collude to take him down, but we were in the same room, so it was more joyous when you did. So, yeah, I think Borderlands was one of the sort of first shooter games for a while that was like, you know what, we probably should have split screen at some point.
Yeah.
And good for them.
Yooka-Laylee, I believe, I'm not 100% sure, but their multiplayer, I believe, is offline as well.
Right.
I think they have both, which makes me excited. Yooka-Laylee, for those of you who don't know, coming out in April, is the Banjo-Kazooie successor. I've talked about it plenty of times on here.
And there's even a good option for there to be a lot of VR involvement in that sort of game as well, because there's a lot of games where you could have the VR headset
Keep talking, don't explode is a prime example of like.
Yeah.
So in the headset, you have the bomb. You're telling the person next to you how to defuse the bomb. The screen sees the manual and is going in and saying, "So you're telling me I have 6 wires. The third one's blue. Cool. Cut the third wire."
Yeah. I'm yet to play that game, but it does look a lot of fun.
It is a lot. I made Amanda and DJ from work play it. They were yelling at each other. It was the greatest thing ever. If you want to end your relationship with your wife pretty quickly,
probably don't want to do that.
I would pay to see that though. I would pay to see that. It's a fun game. But that reminds me a lot of doing co-op back in the day. That's why I think it's really interesting with like For Honor. Me and David are doing the co-op For Honor thing. I think I would have a little bit more fun if we were in the same room, just because you'd have the chips and the sodas, and it remind me of college.
Vapors.
By the way, if you haven't seen our Instagram post, I actually liked it, but I have 40 bottles of this in my fridge right now. I have a problem.
You do.
Yeah, I do.
I have this is water with a energy drink flavoring in there. So there you go.
Looks like it's
not
nuclear
super
reactive.
good. Yeah, it is a little bit slushy, but I ran out of Gatorade, so that's what I'm living with right now.
I have plenty of buy.
That's my story, and I'll stick to it.
I've tried new flavors of it. I got lime.
What have you got here today?
I got lime and raspberry. I got Maui lime and Andy's coconut. No,
it's always coconut, isn't it?
These two are coconut.
Oh, okay.
So I got a little sidetrack here. Sponsor us, bye. Bye. I bought they're called Cocoa Fusion, so it's coconut mixed with something. I bought a case of that, and then I bought a case of the clementine one, which is the one I drink every morning.
Okay.
Because it's like, to me, it's like orange juice. So that's why I have a bunch of these. They have just straight coconut. They have coconut raspberry, coconut lime, and then coconut pineapple. All
right then.
Clementine, and then I got peach also.
I feel like there's a song with coconut in it that I can't remember.
Put the lime in the coconut.
There you go. There you go.
They did it. They put the lime in the coconut.
They put the lime in the goddamn coconut. Look at that.
But anyways.
Anyway, yeah, so...
Couch co-op.
I wish it would come back more.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like... The amount of time I would do it, I kind of understand why it's not as big of a thing. Because, like I said, David wouldn't come over at 11 o'clock because he needs to go to bed. Or his girlfriend needs to go to bed. Whatever it may be, it's a little bit more inconvenient. But those moments when you're together and you play together are just so much fun.
I guess the question we really need to ask is to the developers and ask, because we don't know. Is it worth it? How hard is it to do that? Like when you already have all the tech. I mean, obviously there's a certain amount, I suppose, of juggling textures and performance and things like that, having two things going or 4 things going at the same time. But how difficult really is it? And is it something that is there a conscious or economic reason why it's not worth the effort? Or was it just something that you felt went by the wayside, like video on demand?
Well, or like 3D platformers, and that's coming back right now.
Yeah.
So I mean,
I like the renaissance of 3D platforms.
It's called Renaissance.
Yeah, it depends where you're from.
It's Renaissance. It's also called aluminum.
Got it.
And a buoy. Remember that one?
I'm gonna bite my tongue on all of these things.
But no, I think it's one of those things that happens in gaming every so often where like something becomes popular, and I think right now, I don't know if you saw the announcement from Call of Duty. Did you see the announcement from Call of Duty?
I did not see the Call of Duty. That's how fast you're talking right now. Settle down. Bye boy.
They're going back.
Bye boy. That's it. That's your new nickname.
They're going back to their roots. So the Space didn't sell well.
Oh yeah, no, you did show me that.
Yeah, Space didn't sell well, so they're going back.
Fucking shocker, right?
And I think
Call of Duty in space didn't do well. Who would have thought?
So here's my thought on, and this is kind of a whole arching theme that I was kind of going to make a point on, is
tangent.
Games have to make an evolution, and that evolution could be multiple different ways. Like look at Assassin's Creed. Assassin's Creed has changed where it's been based, and people have still loved it because the game's at its core. Call of Duty, to me, has still kept its core when it comes to shooting. Most people think of Call of Duty as a ground shooter, but you can see the evolution of from World War II to modern warfare to advanced warfare. Like, it made sense with the evolution that they did.
I think the second they went advanced warfare, they really bit the bucket. And here's why. Because
But like Black Ops is advanced.
Well, that as well.
But that's one of their best-selling franchises right now.
Don't care. I'm including it in the mix here because Black Ops was not necessarily advanced. It was based upon missions that were like real missions that happened, but it also was based upon prototype weaponry, which is why a lot of it was kind of weird. But then it got advanced. The first Black Ops wasn't. It was just like Cold War shit. But with the Modern Warfares and things like that, like those were pretty solid because they were based upon a kind of a world that you're more familiar with. But if you think about the joy that people got out of playing the original World War II shooters like Call of Duty 3, Call of Duty World at War.
I hated World at War. Those
World at War was great, man. It took some getting into, but yeah.
I sucked at it.
And it's just like there's something to be said for playing those games when you have more basic things at your disposal. Like you have this rifle, this pistol, maybe you get a kill streak or whatever, like with Modern Warfare, but at the same time, like it's not oversaturated with shit that you can do.
Yeah.
There's not 12 different grenade types, and like it should be like a bang, a shock, and a smoke, and that should be it. Because you're giving the players too much customization, too many perks, and like there's a certain point where the balancing just goes out of the goddamn window because you're giving people too many fucking options. There needs to be less options.
The nuke option in Modern Warfare 2?
Why didn't they go for realism? Why didn't they do for like what Tomb Raider did and make it like, let's make it more gritty. Let's give them... I mean, I haven't played Battlefield 1 yet, admittedly. I do own it, but I haven't played it. And like, I know
it's super real.
That's supposed to be a little bit, a little bit goofy, but at the same time, like at least you're fucking in a normal world war again. So I would love to see like a Vietnam or something like that come back, and but them really do it right. Like let's focus on the beautiful textures and things you could get out of a game like that, but have like the weapons just be beautiful looking. There doesn't have to be 50 of them, and just kind of try and really go for realism.
But then you're gonna have people complain that there's not big enough an upgrade. The same thing people do with Madden.
I mean, I did the same thing with Madden. Assholes have ruined the whole series.
I mean, I do the same thing with Madden. I was like, Madden isn't big enough. That's why I buy it every other year, though.
That's true, but with the sports game, there's only so much you can do because it's sports. The sport is... Yeah. There's no way to change how that works. You can add things to it control-wise, but there's only a certain way you can play that.
Yeah.
Whereas with Call of Duty, like there's so many kind of tweaks they could have made more environmentally or graphically or things like that, and people would have loved it just as much. Like they need to find where the joy was in the original games because those were a lot more basic.
See, I get joys out of the skills. That's why I think I like the newer ones is the skills and all that kind of stuff. But
there's nothing to say you can't have some kind of an RPG tree. But at the same time, like it shouldn't be ridiculous because a lot of what they are now is ridiculous.
Which is like Titanfall when there's like 12 loadouts, you're like, oh god.
Yeah. Even Titanfall is a little overkill. I like the movement in that because that's how that game's designed. But for Call of Duty, if you play the original, and I've been playing since Big Red 1, you really want it to feel like war.
I
and it
played
just
Modern
doesn't
Warfare 2.
anymore.
Was actually World at War. Was Warfare 2 or World at War first? But everyone was
Modern
first
Warfare 2 was way after World at War.
World at War was the first one I played then.
Yeah, World at War was
because I was a kid.
Just after Modern Warfare, I think, because that was the Treyarch. That was when Treyarch was still good. And then they did the stupid.
But to tie back in to what we were talking about, I feel like the reason I feel like Call of Duty is kind of doing this evolution cyclical thing is the same thing with anything in the industry. Trends come and go, and then they come back again. I mean. So
does that mean video on demand will be popular in 8 years?
Oh fuck no! It might be. I mean, who knows? Because people get tired of the same thing over and over again. Like Assassin's Creed hitting it, and there's a lot. I think there's a lot of franchises right now. I think we're at the point in the industry where we're gonna see a bunch of new IPs, and I think we've already started it. You've got Division that came out. You have Horizon coming out. You have Days Gone coming out from PlayStation. You had ReCore come out. Like there's so many new IPs because people are getting tired of 4s, 5s, 6s, and 7s coming out.
Let me ask you a question. This is going to sound like a shower thought right now, but if live videos are the next big thing, what's the next big thing after that? Being in the same room as the people doing it?
I'm going to say 360 live.
360 live? So like actual like VR immersion level live?
Yep. I think a lot of it depends on what sticks, but yeah. Because if VR sticks, then yes, I think that'd be the next step to it. And then beyond that...
Because, I mean, at a certain point, it's about getting closer. This is why Twitter does so well, right? Because Twitter gives you celebrities that you can hang around with like they were actually friends on your Facebook or whatever. They're posting their thoughts, and like when they post something, you can see, oh, this was posted 12 minutes ago by
what they're eating,
Arnold Schwarzenegger or whatever. And there's a certain level of engagement, but also if you tweet at them, they can respond to you. So you have literally a 24/7 access to a celebrity.
Do you know who Pete Hines is, right? I don't know if did I tell you this? Pete Hines from Bethesda, the VP of PR for Bethesda. I tweeted at him after I saw an interview with him, and I was like, we need more people like Pete Hines because he tells it how it is. And he responded back to me, and we had a back and forth for a little bit there, just like...
That's cool.
This dude is the head of Bethesda.
And this is not something that you would be able to do if it wasn't for a platform like Twitter that existed. So the question is, how do you go...
The next step from there?
Yeah, how do you get, like, because if that's what people are looking for, being that much closer and that much more engaged with their celebrities.
Google Hangout. It's going to be where it's going to be a two-way conversation.
You think?
Yeah.
So you can do that in live streaming. So what's past that?
It's video two-way. Not a text one-way, video one-way. So...
Okay, so actual, like, having other people watching you, but being able to see them too.
So this is just...
I opened Pandora's box.
So go ahead. What my thought is here is, like, say we're live streaming a game. Somebody has a question. You can click on their name, or you can, like, they could raise their hand, or whatever the virtual thing of raising your hand is. You raise your hand, you click on them, you can see them on their webcam, ask you the question, they're face to face. Because then
do the other people get to see them?
Yes, they will show up in, like, the bottom corner of your screen.
How do you stop penises?
You just got to moderate. I mean, it's like anything else.
Because let's be honest, if you let people on TV on a regular basis, they would get their cockside all the time. But
how do you stop people from dropping the N-word or F-bombs in the chat? You get rid of them. Like, you're always going to have that.
Yeah.
I get that video is obviously the next step, and it's a little different, but I don't know the answer to that question. Somebody else is going to come up with that answer. But that, to me, is the next thing, is like you do the virtual raise your hand.
I mean, we kind of had that weird idea at the beginning. This is a little bit of insight into how bizarre we are sometimes. We had that weird idea. Well, I had that weird idea near the beginning of getting one of those 3D audio microphones and putting it between us on the couch, so that, and then like strapping a camera to it or something, so that it would be like you were sat in the same room as me and Keegan and like playing a game. Which I guess if you put like a 360 camera in between the two of us, you'd get the same thing.
Yeah,
but it just
it'd be real close though.
But then like you'd be watching the screen and you'd feel like you were actually here. Yep. And if I was talking, it would sound like I'm in your left ear, and if Keegan's talking, it sounds like he's in your right ear, and that kind of thing. That to me is a
what would you do then? You'd make a virtual set essentially. So what you do, instead of having like the TV and what the camera sees, the whole thing, you'd cut it down and say, here's Tom's virtual.
Should we be trademarking these as we go along?
Probably. This is trademarking. We have proof that we came up with.
Yeah, that's true. What's the date today? It's Valentine's Day. That's Tuesday, 14th, 2017. We just came up with that trademark video evidence. Yeah.
It's going to go to court with it. But no, I seriously do think that the next like evolution of online is either, if VR sticks, is going to be that. Hands down. Because there's already companies that are putting a lot of money into that.
I would really, really love to be able to do that. I mean, I worry for families, because could you imagine like 5 people like all strapped with VR headsets trying to watch the news and stuff? It'd be kind of weird, wouldn't it?
I mean, we all look at our screens now.
I know, but I hate that too.
Just because you're old.
Yeah.
Like, it's normal. It sucks, but it's normal.
You guys, like, how do you think the human eyes are going to adapt with all this? I'm going bigger and more philosophical.
They're going to focus on screens. They don't care. I'm colorblind. It doesn't fucking matter now. My eyes are already fucked up.
No, I mean, like, okay, so you raise a valid point. You say that people all the time now are walking around with their head buried in their phone, which I do. I do it, but at the same time, I'm also cognizant of it. And when I decide not to do it, I'm very cognizant of everyone else doing it. So is there, like, do you think, like, as evolution kicks on, the fact that we're strapping screens, like, closer and closer to our face, that our eyes will somehow, like, be able to see more? Or, I don't know, like, is there an evolutional sort of trade-off for that?
I don't know, maybe. I don't think we'll be able to see more, because I think you'll have people who are nearsighted, so screens will be right here. Because you won't be able to see stuff.
So it might actually be more eye damage or strain.
Yep.
But then we adapt to that. That's how humans evolve. Well, that's how anything evolves. Yeah. So then how do you adapt to eye strain? What's the anti-eye strain?
I don't fucking know. I ain't no scientist.
Viewers, if you're listening or watching, I want to know from you directly, and that means you have to comment on this video and or drop a thing in iTunes. For podcast 16, our big viewer question is
16.
What is the evolution of human eyeballs with the amount of screens that we are currently putting bigger and closer to our face on a more regular basis?
Is this 17 or 16? I think it's 17.
I thought you said 16.
It might have. I think it's 17.
I don't fucking know.
I don't know.
Podcast something. Just look at the text at the top of this thing, and that's what it is.
But no, what I was going to say, so putting my two ideas together of the VR, if that sticks, and then the video, picture doing the video to the point where we can render a face in front of you. So when somebody asks a question, they come into your world, and they're like sitting on a virtual couch or whatever it may be.
That'd be weird.
It's where we're going to go.
I'm not sure I like that.
It's the future. It's 5 years from now, Tom. Don't you forget it.
Put it in your calendars.
It's not going to be. It's not going to be that quick. But I could see the medium going that way because of technology and because internet speeds are going to be able to handle that.
But one more. Would it be the person or would it be an avatar? People don't like being on. It'll initially be people an avatar. Are like, what do you call it? They're self-conscious.
Weird.
And plus, if we're being lazy and watching screens all day, we're all going to be fat and ugly anyway.
It'll initially be an avatar, but you'll have the option to put like they do now with like Game Face for like the sports games. You'll be able to have the option to put yourself in a game or into an experience or into a video. Because
my mind is being blown.
Have you seen some of the facial recognition software that they use for
the official recognition software?
The facial recognition and the facial tracking they do for a lot of the animations they do. Have you seen that?
Yeah.
It's fucking amazing the shit they can do now. And it's just like, there was one, I think it was CES last year or 2 years ago, watching an IGN video with Brian Altano, and they scanned his head, and it was his head in the fucking game. And I was like, this is weird. And when he talked, they had trackers on him that when he talked, it talked. And that's where we're going. Yeah. It's expensive now, but at some point that will be an inexpensive technology.
Technology is scary.
And eventually you will be having a virtual headset where we could theoretically 10 years from now we could be doing a podcast. I'd be sitting in my boxers at home, you'd be sitting in your boxers here, and we'd have this virtual table between us and do this, and this would just be us.
I'd be alright with that.
Version of that.
I'd be alright with that. I gotta say, but I do like the idea of avatars. I think that's neat. I think that'll be.
I think it'll be an option, but I think eventually it'll get to the point where
I think most people don't want to show themselves. So I think people are very self-conscious. So it'll be interesting to see. There are definitely some people that like look at me, but at the same time. Yeah, I don't know. It's weird. It's like surrogates or whatever.
I feel like we went from couch co-op to cyclical trends.
To the future.
The future. We started in the future. Remember that?
Well, we just went back to the future.
I've never seen that movie.
Punville.
I've never seen that movie.
You suck. All right.
What's his name? The guy from Angels in the Outfield's in that. What the fuck is his name?
I don't know.
Doc?
Christopher Lloyd.
That guy.
Yeah.
I can't think of his name. He's from Angels in the Outfield. He's Al in Angels in the Outfield. No, he's
from Back to the Future, and he was also in Angels in the Outfield.
He's also in Click, I think, as well.
Oh, gosh.
That's about all I know him in.
The world weeps for you and your knowledge of 80s movies.
Or lack of.
So that being said, I think it's a good place to call it. We got a lot of stuff to do today, man. We can't dilly-dally today.
No, we're just talking about it. My watch says there's nothing to do.
That's fair enough. We got to do some recording of some VRs and some Let's Plays. We're going to play a bit of Tony today. You excited for that?
I love playing Tony.
You do like playing Tony.
Do you hear? So speaking of Tony, sorry. I'm going to interject here. Rumor has it there's going to be a Tony Hawk skate game combo. Like, the people who... Because Tony Hawk Pro Skater 5 flopped miserably.
Yeah, it was shit.
Horribly.
Yeah.
And Tony Hawk's name, though, still has power, which is weird because he hasn't skated for, 5-6 years?
I mean, he was the Michael Jordan of skating,
yes.
Wasn't he? You know?
But even now, Michael Jordan's not really on any basketball games anymore.
That's because he's a weird dude.
Yeah,
I feel like he did that to himself a little bit.
He
wasn't as weird. Like, I mean, no one just voluntarily has a Hitler mustache. He's a
you
weird,
don't know.
He's a weird
you don't
dude.
know him.
And he cried that one time.
Yeah,
that crushed him forever. Memeville.
But anyways, Tony Hawk and Skate. Rumor has it that Tony Hawk is making a non-Activision skating game, and rumor has it that Skate is about to go into production, and rumor has it that Tony and whoever, I can't remember who makes Skate, have been in talks to make the Skate franchise a Tony Hawk franchise without officially calling it Tony Hawk, because I don't think Tony Hawk owns the rights to his name, which is weird.
I would be happy if Tony just left it alone and Skate guys just made another Skate game, because I feel like
you'd
it's going to get too bogged down with the bullshit.
You'd get the licensing using Tony Hawk.
Yeah, but no one cares. Like,
I do.
He's not as relevant.
I care. I don't care.
Did you buy the fifth game?
Because it fucking I debated it, but it sucked. Yeah. So that's why I didn't. I actually looked at the reviews and I was going to pick it up, but as soon as I heard it was a buggy mess,
I feel like business decision wise, he's not very good. Because I mean, like
a lot of money, though.
even before that 5th game, he had that one with a fucking board that you had to like
that was
stand
dumb.
on. That was
Yeah.
stupid. I mean, come on, man.
Wasteland was good. Underground was good. I didn't play Underground 2. So
I didn't pay any past 3.
Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1, 2, 3, 2X, 4. 4 was decent.
I did play 4 actually.
So
That was the last good one that I played.
yeah,
All right.
5 was garbage.
So we're going to play some of that, and then we're going to do some VR. We got a couple VR things on our plate today. But yeah, we won't spoil them what they are. You know what I'm really grateful for? Our camera hasn't cut off yet.
Your wife? You've noticed, I feel like we both keep looking like,
Yeah,
come on.
I forgot that was a thing that was happening, so I've been
kept
trying to
looking.
pay attention to it.
I kept looking. Well, little fun fact for those of you who have not watched the podcast before, our camera has been shutting off randomly.
Yeah.
And at the 40-minute mark, I was like, okay, it's still red. It's
Yeah.
still red.
It's still red right now, so that's good. But we do have to do a ton of VR today, so we'll see how long that hangs out. Yeah. So basically, let us know your thoughts on the future of the human species.
And go check out Smugglecraft.
Go check out Smugglecraft.
And the Happy Badgers, again, link will probably be down below. You gotta get it from them, but link will be probably in the description to their Kickstarter. I want to say it was 15,000, I believe, was their goal. I'm not 100%
Support local
sure.
developers. Support indie developers. They are the people that are going to make the future better for everyone. I believe. In my heart of hearts.
The live streaming is the future of YouTube. Cool.
Yeah.
Got it. But follow us on YouTube. Follow us on Twitter at Level2GamersSTL, on Instagram, so you can see the amount of buy I have at Level2GamersSTL. Follow us on the Books of Faces, which I honestly don't follow us there because I don't really do anything there, but you can.
I do still do stuff. I'm the older
Yeah.
guy, though, so I'm the one that still uses Facebook.
You're the old fart. By the way, today's David's birthday,
Yeah, I saw that.
and I said happy birthday to him, and I go, are you officially an old fart now? And he's like, I don't know.
He's been an old fart.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
happy birthday, David, anyway.
Yes.
I mean, you won't get this till next week, but just know that we were thinking of you on your birthday.
Yes. I'm gonna one more story before we end it. But David, the Little Acre bite went up. Was that last week from the recording? And he forgot he was in it. He's like, "Oh, should I buy this game?" And you were like, "Hey, David's joining us," and he's like, "I am." He was super confused. It was pretty funny. He's like, "I had no idea I was in that video." I was like, "Really?" Because you were
Interesting.
there.
That's definitely a sign he's getting old.
Yeah.
The Alzheimer's
Alzheimer's.
kicking in. Sorry,
But-
Dave.
Anyways, subscribe to us on YouTube. Shameless plugs everywhere, all around. Just
Or
check us
just
out.
say hi. You don't
No.
have to subscribe. You
No,
can
don't
just
say hi.
say hi.
Don't
We're
say
fine
hi.
with that as well.
Nope.
All right.
Come find my
Well,
house.
Thanks a lot for listening. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. And as always, welcome to the second level.
Bye bye.
It ain't no game, but they saying welcome to the second level.